Hello, this is Alan with Hope Tech, and today I'm hoping to be able to show you a little tutorial on creating one kind of an endless runner game. And there's a couple different variations on this. This will just be one of them to hopefully get you started. I'll be taking the Crash Course game, which hopefully you've gone through already, and you've probably already modified it to the Nike or your own version. But I'll just start with the Crash Course, as hopefully it'll be fairly similar for everybody. And then there'll be some other things you could tweak along the way. Hopefully this will just be a guide to let you know how to go about doing this stuff. So first, let me show you what the current state of this game. And it might be loading off to the side. I'll have to drag it into the window. Compiling. And here, let me drag it in. And so this is kind of the game. We see Noni moving around. You can jump. And right. So that's the game. What we want to do is make it so Noni can go on endlessly. Okay? Now, one of the first things we want to try and do that helps make this look a lot better is have different backgrounds. So I went ahead and grabbed from a website that gives out free game graphics these 5 different backgrounds, and they will, if you look at it, like this one might be one of the easier ones to see. This edge lines up with this edge whenever there's an edge to it, so that it can kind of loop back on itself. So we'll want to bring in all of these 3 different backgrounds. So I'll go to backgrounds, I'll create one, and I'll just name it 1. Create, and add the frame, choose an image. Gotta remember where I put it. I have them in the downloads folder, and we'll use this one, Forest Daylight, and it's under this parallax. I think that's what this is called, where you have different backgrounds and they're moving at different speeds. So we'll use layer 1. And it's actually down here. The rest is all transparent. So we'll add that. And we want to check this to repeat the background. And then we also want to have a scroll. So let's set this to scroll at, I think we have 5 backgrounds. Set this one to like 16. And save that. Now go back, add another background. We'll call this one 2. Add an image, 2, add it, repeat background. We'll set the scroll speed for this one to 8, and then you can play around with that. And actually, we'll be changing this number later, anyways. Set that to 2. We'll call this one 3. Add an image. Repeat the background. Yeah, so we did 16, 8, 4. Another one. Repeat background. 2. More. And you can create as many as you want here. And give this a speed of 1. Okay. Now let's go back to our dashboard. We'll go to our scene, main scene. And what we want to do is we want to add a background layer. So we'll add the background layer and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you see this is what it looks like when it's all put together. However, we want to make this is our layer 0. This is the one that has the characters and everything. We want to drag that up so it's on top. Now, since this is going to be an endless runner, let's get rid of all of these clowns for now. And let's make this all the same grass all the way through. And then let's actually get rid of this. Just make it flat for now. It'll be a nice flat area. Let's move Noni about here. And now let's go ahead and test this. See what it looks like. Save it, test it, and we should see the background scrolling. So here you can see the front part of this background is moving faster than the leaves. That's moving faster than these mountains, which is moving faster than the clouds, and moving faster than the sky in the background. And then Noni can move around. Now the next thing we want to try and do is keep Noni in place and move everything else based on the direction and speed that Noni's moving. So there's probably a couple different ways to do this, but let's go ahead and create a variable for the game for the speed. So we'll click up here on settings and attributes and click here to create a game attribute. We'll call this maybe, I think there was another variable already called speed in here, so we'll call it running speed, and it's going to be a number. The initial value will be 0. Okay, so we've got that. Now we want to try and go in and look at Noni, and when let's jump into that character. And when Noni is walking, and let's edit this behavior here. When Noni's created, it's facing right, and when Noni's updating, right here, it's set the X speed to speed for self, right, and then set the X speed to negative speed for self. So that's going to actually get Noni walking. However, we don't want Noni to walk, we want everything else to walk. So let's see if I can hide these attributes. I didn't really see a good way to do that, but that's okay, we can work on this. So I click here on game attributes, and then we're going to want to set, so we want to set the running speed. So we'll drag this in here, and we want to set the running speed to speed. So we got to go, let's look at that. Actually, we can also just drag speed and place it there. And now we want to take this out. So when we do this, let's put it over here so we can work with this a little bit and separate this from speed. So we're not going to want to use this one anymore, but we will want to use this. We'll put that one there, and then we'll drag this guy back in here. And then we'll want to do the same thing here for the other side. So let's move this out of the way. and we can copy that, set the running speed, and paste it. It's doing the whole thing, so I don't need that. And we'll set this running speed actually to negative speed. So we need to move that out of the way. Negative speed. Touch that. We're done with this. And we can now move this guy back in right there. So if we've moved the right key, instead of setting no need to move, we're setting this running speed variable to speed. And if we're moving left, we're setting the running speed to negative speed. And we're gonna have to change that later, but I'll show you why in a little bit. Now, when he's standing still, he's setting the X speed to 0, so we're gonna want to also modify this. So let's pull this out. Let's copy that again. Let's paste this. We can. Oh, what did it do? Undo. Let's drag this up to the garbage. And we don't need this. Let's go to the garbage. And we want to set the running speed for that in the garbage. Set the running speed to 0. And then put this all back. So we've still got his animations, we've got his facing left and right, but now we've set this running speed, which is what we'll set everything else to. So now let's go ahead and save and test this. And Noni shouldn't be moving anymore. And actually nothing else should move except for that background. Okay, so yeah, we see him walking, but he's not actually moving. And then the backgrounds are moving. So now what we want to try and do is adjust the background so it's moving whenever we have Noni moving. Okay? So let's work on that. So to do this, we'll go to the main scene and we'll look at events. We'll add a basic event. So when updating or when drawing, not actually sure which one. Let's see. So when drawing, we want to let's click. I gotta find where it is. Scenes. There should be a setting the background somewhere. Okay, here it is. Set auto scroll speed for background ID text to a certain amount. So let's pull that in. Let's play with that one. So let's look back at our scene, and you'll notice here there's different IDs. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it's the first number is the ID. Could be wrong, but I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either way, it should work as long as we don't use 0. So let's go back to our events. So set auto scroll speed for background with ID of 0, or sorry, I just said we wouldn't use 1, of 1, 2, and the Y is going to be 0, and the X we're going to use that game attribute of running speed. Alright, let's see. So that should be it. Now we want to copy, paste. So can we just copy, paste, get 2 of them out of it. Let's paste again. Let's send one of these to the trash. We need 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a feeling we should be doing this on the when update, not the when drawing. The other thing we wanted to do is we don't want these to all be moving at the same time, right? So let's drag this in here and we'll test it out. We'll see what it looks like. Let's test the game, or we could just hit test scene. So now all those different backgrounds should be moving at the same time. Drag it in so you can see it. So there we go. And you notice when he's walking forward, it's moving the other way. That's that other bug I was talking about. So let's go back to his walking. So here we have negative speed and speed. So we should probably switch these. The negative speed here, because everything else is moving the opposite. So that should fix that part of it. Save that. And now in the main scene, we want to differentiate between these. So let's go to numbers and text. So we want one of them to be running at running speed, maybe, actually not times, probably divided by. So running speed divided by 16. Let's copy and paste this, and running speed divided by 8. Running speed divided by 4. You can play with these numbers too. Running speed divided by 2. And then maybe just running speed for the last one. So drag this into there and pull some of these out. And hopefully I've got it the right way. Okay. So now they're all moving, should be moving at different times. And let's test it. Pull them in here. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Now the other thing is when I let go, when I stop walking, it flashes right back. So we'll want to fix that so that it doesn't do that. I'll put that on the bug list to work on later. Now what we want to do is go adding different clown characters in. So maybe like every 2.5 seconds or every 3 seconds, add a clown character. So let's go look at that. So, and it seemed like it worked with the drawing. Why don't we change it to while updating? Let's just see what it looks like. So I'll fill this out and actually cut it, paste it. So when updating, do that. Garbage. Garbage. I should be able to remove. So here we are in updating. The other thing we want to do in updating is every 2.5 seconds or every 3 seconds. So is that going to be in flow? Let me see if I can find that. Okay, if we look here under flow and then time, it's do every X seconds. So let's put that in here. So do every, let's start with 3 seconds, and then we're going to want to create an actor. So let's go to actors here, and, or actually it might be under scenes. There it is. So create an actor type on the front. So we'll do this, create an actor type, choose actor type. We'll want to create a clown. And then here you choose the position. So I'm not sure where yet. So let's look down here at the bottom. You'll see the X and Y position. So maybe we'll put it right around here. So 566 and 186. There's some other thing we can do with this too. So at the X we can do scene. Hopefully you can see some of this stuff. Let me see if I can scroll down so it's not off the window. Scene. So screen width. Right. Let's pull that out though. And numbers. And we want to subtract because we don't want it off the screen. So maybe screen width minus actor width. Something like that. So width of. That's not what I want. How about scrap that? We can also just do scene and tile width. So we'll put this at the edge with -1 tile. And then at Y, we can do the same kind of thing as well. So we can do scene screen height. Or actually, let me look. It might not be, yeah. So it'll be 0 plus a tile width for that. So, or just move this one too. Screen tile height. That should put us towards the top. So every 3 seconds we'll create a clown. Okay, let's save this and test the game. Move this. Oops. Okay, I don't know what's happening there. Okay, test the game again. Okay, looks like it's creating tons of these guys. So we probably don't want to be putting it there. Okay, I bet what's happening is every time it calls this function every time it's updating, and so it's doing this multiple times a second. It's creating this loop. Let's see if I can close this. So we don't want to put that there. Probably when creating, that's probably where we want to put it. So let's cut that and paste it. So when we create this scene, every 3 seconds we want to draw the clown. So let's save and test it again. Okay, so now every 3 seconds we should see a clown drop. And there we go. That looks good. Now what we want to do is have the clowns move along with the background. So to do this, let's go to the dashboard and we'll go look at our clown character. and we're going to want to add an event here, and we do an updating, and we're going to want to move this character according to the speed. So let's look at actor, motion, and set the X speed to, and we're going to want to use the game attribute running speed for self. That should do it. Let's test it out. Okay, let's wait. There it goes. There we go. So now when we're running, you see the clown there. That one that's off the screen, I don't know why. Oh. So there is a bug where Noni kind of bounces weird sometimes. Yeah, see how he kind of bounces? So he's getting closer and closer to the edge every time. And notice how the clowns aren't actually going off the screen. So that's another thing we'll have to take care of. But he can just keep going forever, and clowns will keep getting created. So one thing that we might want to do for Noni, let's look at the events. Add event, basic event. When updating, let's set the position, the X position, or set the X, like that. Set the X position for self, and let's look at where he is now. To 100 and, whoops, let me do that. Let's set it to about 100. That should fix that weird issue we're seeing where he's bouncing left and right. So let's save that and test the game. Move it in place here. Okay. Yeah, so now he's not bouncing anywhere strange. So that'll fix that part. So as you can see, he can go on forever. There's a little bit of weird stuff going on with that background resetting. So that's another thing to take a look at. I'll see if I can resolve that in another tutorial. The other thing we can look at in some other tutorials is having the clowns move at a set speed on their own. So they're, even if you're standing still, they're walking towards you. And then also putting maybe a score up here, dynamic score, maybe 10 points for every clown you kill, something like that. But I'll do that stuff in separate tutorials.